Hi everyone, thank you for joining us for our continuing discussion related to who is King Lot. This is Dr. Tracy McCarthy. We see now that Lot is simultaneously offered as an actual human being in this biblical narrative. You also have Lot in various languages being indicated as a deity, a small g god. What's also noteworthy is Lot has been indicated as a big G God. He's even been offered as the Godhead. It is also noted that Lot, who is put forth as a mound builder essentially, is an ultimate deceiver. And so when looking at the offerings related to Lot, an overarching dynamic is Lot is deceiver. And so in addition to Lot being understood as the deceiver and also the mound builder, you see that Lot's name is associated with this idea of deity in a number of languages. And so we've already seen that before, and now we see some additional indications. And you see this in the Arabic, the Hindu, the Turkish, the Greek, the Boko, the Icelandic, Slavonian, and Irish. And some of these indications are Lot, as we've seen the L-A-T, and then Luta, Leut or Lahut, Leto, Latana, and Loda. It's also noteworthy that there is a prevalence of these female deities with respect to the name of Lot. We're going to start off with looking at some of John Morris's work. And this is from 1880. And as we consider these deity dynamics with respect to Lot, we also see here that Lot, again, is associated with this idea of elevation or ascension, a hill. And you see this in the Icelandic, the German, and the Scots language. And here we see the manifestation of Lot again in Western Europe. In this instance, you see that Lot, written as L-U-T-E, is the name of a Druid deity. And so Lot is associated with the Druids and specifically as one of their deities. You also see in Slavonian that Lot is understood as Lada, and that's similar to Alada on the west coast of Africa, and this Slavonian deity. And again, even outside of Europe, you see Lot represented in spiritual terms. And in Fiji, you see it indicated that Latu is a Christian or understood as Christianity. And here in the Boko is that indication of Lot as the big G God. And you see the name spelled L-O-D-A. You also see in the Icelandic an interesting notation. Lot is understood as Luta, meaning to bow down in worship as towards the east or to the sun. And there are multiple indications of Lot going by the name Lehut, and Lehut relating to this idea of divinity in the Arabic, in the Hindu, in the Turkish. And you also see additional notations in the Turkish as Lehut being divinity, and not only divinity, but the divine nature or quality of the Godhead. You also see in Hindu that Lehut is either divinity or divine being. You see some additional indications with respect to Lot and divinity in the Greek. You see this with Leto and Latoi. These are supposed to be names of a Greek deity, and this is tied to a deity Latona, also known as the Titan, and the mother of Apollo and Artemis. And in this encyclopedia offering, you have the name Lehut associated with the name Nehut, and together these terms are supposed to indicate divinity or deity and humanity, of course with Lehut indicating the divinity or the deity. Now, in addition to Lot being associated with this divinity status with respect to the Druids, you also have another group of mystics that see Lot in these theological terms, and these are Muslim mystics. And so now you have the Druids and you have the Muslim mystics understanding Lehut as being associated with divinity or deity. Now this discussion goes on to indicate that the termination of the words with ut, that ut, that this is traced to the Aramaic. And when you're looking at other words that end with this ut, there seems to be a relationship between the ut, the ut, and this idea of rulership or kingship. Now McCarran offers in 1997 that Lehut is a part of a collection, and so it's related to these 5 realms or worlds of Allah. And you see the other names, you see Hehut and Jabarut or Jabarut and Malakut or Malakut along with this Lehut, and they are understood as being related to symbolic cosmology. We're just going to quickly look at some indications coming out of the history of names of men, nations, and places, and this is from 1864. And in this writing, there's a discussion about the name Loda, and Loda, L-O-D-A, another transliteration of Lot, is understood as the god small g of Lachlan, and so this is related to Scandinavia. And then coming back to the Greek, you have the deity known as Latana or Latona. And you see her here pictured with her children, who are indicated as Apollo and Diana versus Artemis in this particular rendering. And here's another depiction, this one from a Russian painter, and this is of Lada, L-A-D-A. As we wrap this up, of course, a number of questions emerge related to the identity of Lot, historically and spiritually. Of course, in scripture, you have Lot identified as this human being. However, when you look across cultures, you look at these transliterations, you see that Lot is actually represented or understood in many ways as a deity. Not only a deity, but in some instances, you have Lot represented as the God with the big G, also the Godhead. And you see this across a number of cultures. You also see Lot associated with mysticism. Another indication is that Lot is heavily entangled with the idea or the identity of Esau or Edom. And the question is, why is that? Remember, knowledge is power. Take care. See you soon.